Umququzeleli oyintloko we-Rize Mzansi umnumzana Makashule Gana uphakamisa ukuba iinkampani zokungcakaza kweli zihlawule irhafu njengenkampani ezithengisa icuba notywala kwaye ufuna ukuba zilawulwe iintengiso zezinkampani zokungcakaza nanjengoko kubonakala ukuba zigubungele oomabonakude, onomathotholo kunye nee-Internet. Uthi esi siphakamiso baza kusifaka epalamente njengomthetho oyilwayo ibill ngelasemzini. Makashule, siyabulela ngexesha lakho. Yintoni ebangele ukuba nifune ukufaka lo mthetho usayilwayo epalamente?
Thanks very much and good evening to you, good evening to the viewers. And I want to start by sending our deepest condolences to the Bokgopane family on the passing of Dr. but also to the Winnie Khumalo family on her passing. We have lost two artists in a short space of time, so we convey our condolences to both families. So gambling is a big problem in South Africa, and we are seeing that more people, even more young people, are being addicted to gambling. So you go to every corner, you go to the township, you go to the villages, people are on their phone, they are gambling. So we see this as a big problem that we have as a country, because there's no country that can build prosperity, gamble its way to build prosperity. But secondly, we believe that the levies and the taxes that are being levied to the gambling companies, they are inadequate, given the kind of damage that gambling addiction has in society. So one of the things that we are advocating for as Rize Mzansi, it's a relook at the taxes, but also a relook at how the revenue is being shared amongst the provinces when they do gambling. So what we have seen in South Africa is that since the COVID-19, a lot more people are gambling on their cell phones. So we have a lot more online gambling than the traditional going to the casino. And this has led to many people, many young people being addicted to gambling. The third aspect that we are seriously concerned about is the level of advertising that is happening. And I gave this example on social media. I said, if one looked at the recent cricket test Proteas against Pakistan, it was playing in a stadium that is sponsored by World Sports Betting. The Proteas themselves are sponsored by a betting company called Dafabet. The broadcast, so everyone that's watching the broadcast on SABC, the broadcast is sponsored by Hollywood Bets. So if you are sitting and watching cricket for the entire 8 hours, you are subjected to this continuous advertising that tells you to bet. But there's very little that goes into the education and the rehabilitation of the people that are addicted to gambling. And this is something that ourselves, as Rize Mzansi, we have raised in Parliament with the Minister of Social Development, but also with the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition to say, let's relook at the gambling companies operating in South Africa.
Mr. Gana, for companies like us who are selling airtime in order for us to generate a revenue, how is it going to affect us?
So what we want is that in the same way that you have the advertisement of alcohol or liquor that is being, you don't advertise all the hours, because you need to understand that there are times that the kids are watching the television, so you will not want to advertise alcohol early in the morning, but also the frequency. So if you are on your phone now and you go to social media, as you scroll up, you won't go five posts and you don't see an advert around that tells you gambling, that tells you that this person has won so much. But the aspect that talks to the addiction, it's written in the smallest possible font. So all you see is people winning.
Yes.
But there's no advertisement that goes into to warn South Africans about the dangers of gambling addiction. And that's something that we are advocating to say part of the revenue that goes to the provincial gambling boards must go towards education, public awareness, and also rehabilitation of the South Africans that are addicted to gambling.
Let's talk about other political parties. Do they support this bill?
So we have in Parliament now, there are two bills. The National Gambling Act Amendment Bill, but also there's a remote gambling bill. That these are the two bills that are before Parliament. The other one comes from other political parties. But since I have started raising this particular issue, because I first raised it in Parliament, since we started raising this as Rise Mzansi, a lot more political parties are coming on board to say gambling addiction is a problem. You know, back in the days, you'll not think that a rural village in Limpopo or a rural village in the Eastern Cape, you'll find people 24 hours on their phones gambling and being fed all these advertisements 24 hours. And that's something that we have to relook at, because as I said, there is no country in the world that has gambled its way to prosperity. And the reason they target South Africans, it's because you are given this hope that when you gamble, you'll strike it rich, then your life will change forever. But the bulk of the money, especially when I raised with social development, was that when I look, and this is a study that we are going to do, a link between remember the COVID relief, the social relief grant?
Yes.
That when that grant started being paid out, we have seen an increase in terms of the revenue of the betting companies. So in the last year, 1.1 trillion was wagered. So this is 1.1 trillion. And the amount of revenue that the betting companies have kept for themselves is 59 billion. Wow. But the money that is paid as taxes and levies, it's only 5 billion. So out of the 60 billion, only in fact, it's not even 5 billion, it's 4.9 billion. So out of the 59 billion that gambling companies have made as revenue, this is after they've paid out people who have won 10 rands there, people who have won 1,000 there. They are left with 59 billion. But out of that 59 billion, only 5 billion is paid as taxes, which is just 8%. So the 92% is being kept by the gambling companies. That's why we are saying part of resolving some of these issues. So the Minister of Finance, when he tables his budget, he will talk about the sin taxes for alcohol, for cigarettes. And now we are saying there must be sin taxes for gambling.
Mzansi Gana, siyabulela inkosi kakhulu ngexesha lakho.
Siyabulela inkosi.